and welcome to a brand new series of Rich Chang's Leicester Square Theatre podcast. It's like we never went away. It's series 13, and episode 1 is with Kathy Burke. This is going to be an audio-only podcast, so if you're watching on video, this will soon just go to audio. It's just the way it is for this show. And we like to give you something for nothing and help you pay for our show without having to pay us any money. You can become a dripster at d.rip/Richard-Herring, or you can become a badger at gofasterstripe.com/badges. But if you don't want to give us money and get something for free, then you can do that bulb thing, remember that, with the electricity and the gas and all that. That's very good, do that. Or you can get a free case of craft beers. This one's called Cress. Cress, lovely Cress. I can't believe I'm doing that for real. This is our friends at Beer 52 who have given us this offer where you can get a free case of 8 craft beers. All you have to do is pay $5.95 for the delivery, and you get a magazine. I mean, who cares? And you get some like little nuts, 1 pack of nuts. So you gotta eat those, drink the beers pretty quickly if you want to go with those. Yeah, it's a monthly beer club that delivers 8 craft beers, this Ferment magazine, which is award-winning, who knew, and a tasty snack, is all right, a snack. And you can compare and contrast these 8 delicious beers with the help of tasting guides in that 100-page Ferment magazine, I suppose it should be called. If you don't like dark beers, I do like dark beers, though. You can tailor the box to your own preferences. You can also rate and review all the beers you've collected on their website, or you can just sign up and then fuck off. And I'll get £5 for everyone who does that. So go to www.beer52.com/RHLSTP, RHLSTP, RHLSTP, and claim your free case today. One per household. New customers only. After your trial case, you'll be a fully fledged member and be charged £24 for 8 beers, magazine and snack with free delivery every 28 days. You're under no commitment and free to pause/cancel anytime. Full terms at beer52.com/terms. We'll give it a go, see how it goes. They're very nice beers, and one of them's called Cress in this week. So, you know, that's a good sign. I love cruciferous vegetables, as you know, and cress is one of my favourites. They're not, you know, some of them are nice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leicester Square Theatre. Please welcome a man whose house is trying to kill him. It's Richard Herring! Oh, yeah! Oh, I don't have a... Oh, I was going to pick up my microphone. I don't need to pick it up. We got new microphones. What do you think about that? Let's see if you're cheering in 20 minutes' time. When everything goes wrong, we have to start again. Welcome, thanks so much for coming along. This is the first podcast in series 13, unlucky for some, of Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast. But I was hanging out with some of the fans of Stuart Lee's comedy vehicle. Those guys, they're so with it. They really know what good comedy's about, those guys. They know about comedy. As long as it's explained to them what the joke is, they're fine. If you don't explain it, they can't understand why it's clever. But if you tell them it's clever, then they go, oh, I'm clever for liking this, I get it. They call it rehearsal, so I don't know if that's going to catch on. Lots of new things. Look, we got new chairs. If you gave money to the Kickstarter, that's where the cash has gone. The other ones were falling apart, to be honest. And I think Chris Evans, not that one, said he saw them using... We ordered these, and then they were on Newsnight or something like that as well. So, I mean, I don't think it's the same ones. They're not like showbiz chairs that go around working out. But they're nice, aren't they? All right, they've got little buttons on them, different colours. You want me to see that when we're sitting down? I've got a new question book. Ooh, it's Star Wars themed. That's what... Yeah, it's a Wookiee. It's a Wookiee. And that's probably what a Wookiee wears, isn't it? It's a Wookiee sash. And it's got like a bookmark on it as well. I'm 50 years old. It's a stormtrooper on there. So someone will get this. We gave away the last one to the winner of the end-of-year monthly Badger Dripster competition. So if you want to... We give away loads of stuff. You get loads of extras and help pay for the show. If you go to those things, you know the drill by now. So the stuff I've been up to since we stopped doing this, it feels like only yesterday, but yeah, we moved into our house, which has been trying to kill us. There's lots of things that have happened. We've had 2 incidents with carbon monoxide in the house. Get a carbon monoxide alarm. I had one by chance, and it saved our lives twice. It's bad, you know, to be poisoned by carbon monoxide once is unfortunate. It's good. It's a good little Oscar Wilde thing that'll come back later. So, and the electricity, or something, the oven exploded the other day, and all the electricity went off. On Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, somewhere between those two, someone crashed into the wall outside our house and knocked it down and then drove off again. It could have been Father Christmas, though, so that is... I'm pretty sure our house is from the 18th century. I'm pretty sure it's haunted by the ghost of a dead baby. Because I keep on hearing a baby crying. We have a baby, and I'm never in the same room as the baby when the baby is crying, but when I go into the room, the baby isn't crying. So I think a dead baby is haunting us, and I think the dead baby is trying to kill us all. I think it'd be more efficient at murder, given it's dead already, knows how to do it. Anyway, so it's all happening there. Get a carbon monoxide alarm. If you smell carbon monoxide, you're amazing, because it's odourless. Ring 0800 111 999. I think they were amazing. Those guys are the only good people I've met this year in terms of everything else has gone wrong, but they've been nice. Well, there's people have noticed this. This is going to be fairly topical. This one's I can mention the news. Piers Morgan and Donald Trump. That picture's been going around. 2/3 of the human centipede. So it's. You can only go at one end, though. That's the problem. Which end would you go if you were going to be in that? And who would you put there? No one deserves that. Brexit. I just sort of realise all the papers have been going like, this is the mandate from 17.1 million people. But it isn't, is it? Because they were ignoring the 16.3 million people who voted against it. So it's a mandate from only the people that made the difference. It's about 650,000 people. If they'd voted the other way, it would have gone the other way. And I think everyone would admit 1% of the people in this country are fucking idiots. Even the fucking idiots would think that because they don't know they are fucking idiots. That's the thing with being a fucking idiot. You don't know. And so it's a mandate from the fucking idiots. I don't care if you like Brexit, that's fine. If you hated Brexit, that's fine. It's all the people who just kept changing their minds every day, and they're the reason this is all going ahead. I said this on Twitter, got a similar response to that. So we're gonna put more fuck off, you lost, you loser, move on. I hate you, you leave-a-files, leave me alone. So they've got too cool a name. Leave-a-files, that's better. All right, we'll move on. My guest tonight is probably best known for her non-speaking role in a public information film about heroin addiction. Citation needed. It's Kathy Burke, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping. Sit down, thank you very much. You're christening my chair. Lovely. That is the first bum that has been on my chair. It's the first celebrity bum that's been on that chair.
Love it. It's very bright, isn't it?
It's very bright.
I've got to get used to it.
It'll be fine. We got time. If you fancy having a Cress beer at any point, just let me know.
Nah.
Lovely Cress. We got loads of free ones. It's nice, and that's all we're going to get. Probably, I would have thought. Anyway, this is on Wikipedia.
Is it
that you were as a child actor? You were in a non-speaking role in a public information film about heroin addiction. Is that true or not?
Well, I wasn't a child actor.
Okay.
I was probably about 20.
That's
so yeah, and yes, it was. God, blimey. Yeah, it was just lots of black and white shots of us wandering around, just looking very depressed. And I mean, I just thought it was ridiculous for me because I've always been a fatty, and I just thought I look like I'd buy chips if I had money, not heroin. You know? So I was a little bit sort of thrown that I got the job. But my other non-speaking role around about that age as well, which is never credited, people don't realise. Anyone that can remember, you know, people mine and Rich's age, you know, over 50 or whatever, there was a brilliant... It always wins, the awards. It's always in the top 10 of the best advertisements ever.
Right.
And it was an advert for The Guardian, which was about look at things from this point of view.
Oh, yeah.
And you see a skinhead running down the road, and you think he's going to attack a geezer, but what he's actually doing is saving the man from falling scaffold. And I was witness in doorway. And I'm very proud because it's the only advert I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it's award-winning.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was great.
And it was all down to that witness.
It was all, well...
Did you have to pull a face of, oh, I don't like skinheads?
No, it was a
or I
really
don't
quick
like
shot
scaffold?
of me, like the guy running past and then the skinhead running past. And,
Sorry, it's my fault.
Is that you?
It's
What
me,
you
it's my
doing?
fault. I've got to put that down there. I keep forgetting.
Mine's in my pocket.
Yes, right, that's okay. It's my fault. I told him I wouldn't remember to take it out of my pocket, and I was right. And that's all that matters. sorry, I ruined your anecdote with... but that's quite good. If you get boring, I'll just start fiddling with this.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
Or if I... Whoa, we're off. So, anyway, Wikipedia can now link to this podcast, and you don't need to put citation needed anymore, as long as you trust Kathy Burke to not lie about that. She might be true. Your career is absolutely incredible, and you know, until I really sat down and looked at it all, it hadn't quite struck me to the extent that was the case. But you've played the Mona Lisa twice, which I can't think many people have played the Mona Lisa once. You played Mona Lisa in Psycho Bitches and A Word in Your Era. A Word in Your Era, that's right. That was with, what was his name? Fellow with a beard. Jeremy Beadle? No. You work our way through. Jesus? Rory, what's his name? Rory McGrath. Rory McGrath, that's it. Yeah. And, so that was... Where was that? That was some long-forgotten piece of shit that we all did. And, yes, and then again in Psycho Bitches for lovely genius Jeremy Dyson. Yes. Why? Do you think there's a reason you played the Mona Lisa twice? Or is it just a coincidence? I mean, it's not really it's a still picture, isn't it? It is. Well, you know, the one with Jeremy Dyson, I wrote that sketch, and basically she didn't say anything. Right. So poor Rebecca Front had to do all the chat, you know, and I don't know, it was just easy. I just wanted to do something where I didn't have to say any lines. Yeah. So that was the easy option, That's really. Kind of most people who write their own thing make sure they get all the lines. Oh, no, I never do that. No. I want to be out by 4. You've played the Virgin Mary, you've played the non-Virgin Mary, you've played the Queen Mother, apparently. Yes, I played the Queen Mother, yeah. You were Lazar in Doctor Who, though uncredited. I was not. Okay. I've had a few people on Twitter tweet me about that. Hang on, I'm going to cough. I've had a few people on Twitter tweeting me. I do look a little bit like this person that was a sort of extra in an episode of Doctor Who way back, but sadly it wasn't me. Ah. And I wasn't the little fat girl in Grange Hill either. What, the one who said Roland? I didn't think you were. Roland, no. No, I wasn't her. So all those things are amazing. You're in Educating Marmalade, which is an amazing series. Do you remember being in Educating Marmalade, or were you not in that either? I do remember being in Educating Marmalade. And you know what was really interesting about doing Educating Marmalade for me? The brilliant Roy Kinnear was on that. Oh, do you remember Roy Kinnear? Yeah. So Rory Kinnear is a very famous actor now, very serious National Theatre actor. But his dad, Roy Kinnear, was like just a comedy hero for so many people. Little round fatty, just gorgeous. Always brilliant in everything he did. And he was in Educating Marmalade. And it was sort of my first television job, I think. So I was about 18. Right. Anyway, we were in the canteen one day, and there was a fella who... Now, when you're 18, a 30-year-old is like an 80-year-old. And so this 30-year-old was being a little bit out of order and talking to me and the other couple of girls, asking us if we were virgins, all the rest of it. And I'll never forget about Roy Kinnear, and especially now in these days of Me Too and all this business, Roy Kinnear came up to me very quietly and said, "Ignore that man. He's an arsehole, doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't get swept in to what he's saying." Yeah. Because, you know, he was quite a good-looking dude, and he was sort of being... But he was just being a dirty old geezer, really. Yeah. But lovely Roy Kinnear was very much looking after us, you know, nice, which was very nice. Anyway, that was Educating Marmalade, which was great. And the guy that directed that... Oh, what's his fucking name? I can't remember. Colin Buckley. I ended up doing a couple of jobs with him. I did another television thing that Donald Pleasance was in.
And I did something else with him. And then he went to America. And I said, why are you going to America? You're the only person employing me. Don't go to America. And he was like, no, I want to go to America. I want to do better things. You know, I want to get out of this climate and all that. And he's directed Breaking Bad. Oh. He's directed... what was the last really big thing that we all got into? And he directed some of them. What did we get into? What was the thing? We all got... We did The Wire, didn't we?
The Wire?
We like that. Then we all watched Breaking Bad, and we really like that. But we, you know, it's debatable. Are they as great as The Sopranos? Whatever. But what was the one recent? There was another one. Westworld. Stranger Things. No, he didn't do Stranger Things, but Stranger Things was brilliant. I didn't see Westworld.
House of Cards.
No, I didn't watch that. I've always been allergic to Spacey. Funny that. Go and watch it. Go and watch it. Aye? No, I've not watched that. Aye? What?
Handmaid's Tale. That could be it.
Oh, see, I didn't watch that. I've taped that.
You taped that.
But anyway, he was in... He got an award. He was brilliant. Fargo! The one in the snow. The one in the snow. That was genius. And he got an Emmy for that. And he's about 70-odd now.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
And Andrew Davis wrote Educating Marmalade, is that right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I slagged him off a couple of times. I completely forgot. Yeah, he did.
It was an amazing show. Charlotte Coleman was amazing.
She was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Sadly, she died much too young.
She did.
She was fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, let's. I mean, there's a lot I could talk to you about. Let's talk about your Twitter feed. I think. You're very successful, but everyone loves you, Kathy, and that is quite a trick.
Not everyone, right? Because you see my Twitter feed, but I see my notifications.
Okay.
I'm told, you know, once every couple of months. Twitter's really weird because Sunday it's like Sunday drivers.
Yeah.
You get Sunday racists. They fucking all come out on a Sunday, those bastards. Oh, they love it. You fat cunt, you fucking dog. Look at you, you fucking black-loving bitch. And it's just great. It's nice to have a bit of attention.
Do you ever? They usually don't have their picture in their own avatars. Those guys.
No, they're probably. Well, there's a great new Twitter account called Racist Pets. Oh, that brings joy to my heart. And it's just whoever this person is just finds the most horrible racist people that have their pets as their profile pictures. So you've got these horrible, abusive things about Muslim, and it's a little poodle. It's just fantastic. That's one of my new favourite Twitter accounts.
Well, my favourite of your Twitter, and it's very worth following your Twitter account. But my favourite of your recent tweets was to Boris Johnson.
Oh yeah, he's my favourite. Yeah.
When Boris Johnson had been defensive of Toby Young.
Oh, his mate. Yeah.
And you just tweeted back to Boris Johnson, "He's a cunt, and so are you."
He didn't respond. My DMs are always open.
But would you consider going into politics? I think people would like you in politics. That kind of honesty.
No way, Jose, you know. No, I think we've got some all right people doing their best, I think. But no, absolutely not. I think most of them are just an entitled bunch of arseholes, and I really wouldn't want to have to sit in the same canteen as them.
No, I think you and Stephen Fry together could run the country. That's what I think. We'd cover all bases.
He'd be the posh bit. He'd be eloquent in the put downs, and I'd just go, "What Stephen means is you're a twat." Like Baldrick and Blackadder would be, you know.
It's a bit like Tony Blair and John Prescott, really, isn't it? So that worked all right for a while. And there's the famous Helena Bonham Carter thing as well that you.
Oh, but that's very old now. Yeah. That was a long time ago. So. Yeah.
Have you bumped into her along the way?
We bumped into each other very soon after I expressed my feelings about her way back when in Time Out. Not realising that the two of us would be up for the same BAFTA. I mean, literally within 3 months.
Right.
You know, I had no clue. Anyway, it was fine. She was all right. We had a big chat, and You know, and I just said to her, look, you're in a very privileged position. You do a lot of work, and if you're complaining about the sort of parts you're getting, employ somebody to write you better parts.
Yeah.
And she didn't. What she did was marry somebody to write better parts. But, you know, that's still good, you know. And I've actually got a lot of respect for her, actually. I think she's a fantastic actress. It's just way back then, this is before social media, you know, not everybody had a voice. And Helena back then, this is like 25 years ago, she had a voice. Yeah. So she was being interviewed a lot, and she was sort of our representative, you know, of actors of our age group. And it was sort of a bit, you're not speaking well, you know, you're getting things a bit arse over tit. And but she was lovely, she was gracious, and we had a lovely chat. And I do remember she said to me at one point, you know, some of the papers are comparing us to Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. And I said, well, as long as we remember that I'm Bet, I'll be all right, you know. But no, good on her. I've not got a bad word to say about her anymore, actually.
But it was sort of ahead of its time, that discussion, in that I think now, like, there's a lot more posh people have come into acting, right? So it is now much harder for working class people to get anywhere in acting. Is that? Do you think
I do think it's harder, just in terms of how much money it costs to go to drama school and places like that. You don't necessarily have to go to drama school, but it really helps. It really helps. But some people just can't afford it. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are aware that you even have to pay to audition.
Right.
And if you don't get into the drama school, it's not like a deposit. You don't get your money back, you know. So it is quite tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got to probably live in London, really, to have a realistic chance. Maybe Manchester.
I suppose. Well, Manchester's got a good place. Manchester University's got a great drama department there, and yes, I don't know really. I just think there should be room for everybody.
Sure.
I've got lots of posh friends, and I adore them all as much as I adore my oiky friends. And I just want everybody to have an equal playing field. You know, when I was starting out, I mean, I went to further education college and did drama, and I got a grant. You know, I got paid to be further educated, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go. Spent all the money. Going to gigs, still got money for gigs, you know. I was just sort of obsessed with music then, so... but no, I was very lucky. It's very different now.
Yeah. And so how did you get started? Was it someone at school kind of encouraged you?
Yeah, it was a teacher at school. Because there's a very famous place called the Anna Scher Theatre, which was like a workshop place that you go to after school. Some people think it's like an Atelier Conte place, but it wasn't at all. You paid 50p for a lesson, and it's a waiting list system, so you didn't even have to audition. But it was very popular, so you had to wait for 3 years, really, to get in. And a teacher told me about the place when I was 13. He went, you live in Islington, this place is in Islington. And I finally got in 2 weeks before my 16th birthday. And my life changed. It was like... I mean, you hear people say, I felt like I came home. But in a weird way, it sort of was. And, you know, you're there for ages before she asks you to get up and do anything. So, because one of the first rules is be a good audience. Yeah. So you have to sit there for at least 3 months being a good audience. And if you get fed up and think, well, she's never using me, and you go, then you'll never know whether, you know, you had the skills or not. But I was very happy to be a good audience. I was very happy not to say anything because I was terrified. And but I remember after the first lesson, I came home and I went straight to bed, and it was 8 o'clock in the evening. And I slept all the way through the night, and I had terrible insomnia all my life. And I just think it was just sheer exhilaration and, fuck, this is what I want to do, man, you know what I mean? And it was just joyous place.
That's fantastic. It's, I mean, I find it's fascinating to see the breadth of stuff you've done, because people, you know, as actors get pigeonholed, and you get pigeonholed as an actor, and lots of people don't like people saying, oh, I'm an actor, I'm going to try some writing, I'm going to try some directing. You've done all of that, but even as an actor, the range of stuff you've done is is insane, really. Even if you just do your comedy stuff, you've done very broad comedy, like maybe Gimme, Gimme, Gimme is quite, it's caricature stuff, but you've done very sophisticated.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit more Ken Loach.
But, but you can work... And well, the fact you can do Gimme, Gimme, Gimme and Nil by Mouth and be, and both are equally loved and equally believable, that's... Most actors don't get that opportunity.
No.
That's fair? Once they've done something very successful, because you did stuff that was very successful, and then you were still able to go to this next thing that was nothing like the last thing you did.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is down to luck. It is down to luck. It's sort of who you meet, who you know, who sees your work. I ended up in the Harry Enfield show because Paul Whitehouse had seen me do a couple of fringe theatre plays. It was Paul that said to Harry Enfield, you should meet this girl, we should get this girl in. And it's because Paul's a very sophisticated person who goes to the theatre. So that was lucky. My very first job was a film called Scrubbers, and it was set in a girl's ball stool, but that director was a Swedish woman called Maj Zetterling, who used to be an actress herself in the 50s, then became a documentary filmmaker, and then wanted to do a drama film. And I was just really lucky. She took me under her wing. She really liked me. She saw some sort of potential, and she just said, you have got to really work hard. She said, I'm telling you now, I was 17, and she was really on my case. And she went, you've got to write, you've got to direct. Otherwise, you'll be, what did she used to call me, because she was Swedish, you'll be little dolly drop in the corner, just being a clown. And I was like 17, I was like, well, I want to be Dolly Drop in the corner. I want to be that, But she really drummed it into me. She said, you've got to do other things. Otherwise, it will be stagnant, and you've got to just, go for it. And it went in my ear and it stayed in there. And I just always had her in my head. And also when I was getting a bit, then into my 20s and I was becoming a jobbing actress, it was a bit like, this is driving me mad, sitting around waiting for work. I didn't like it. I've always been a grafter. I've earned my own money from about the age of 14, doing Saturday jobs, evening jobs, everything. I like my own, shrapnel in my pocket. And I just hated the sitting around waiting for stuff. So I just got involved then. I got involved in the Old Red Lion Theatre, and Robert Pugh is quite a well-known Welsh actor, and he was writing and directing fringe stuff. Philip Davis, that actor, he was writing and directing. And it was Philip Davis that said to me, because I went to see a play. The first play I went to see off my own back at the Old Red Lion was written and directed by Phil Davis. And I said, can I talk to you afterwards? And he went, yeah. And I said, I didn't realise that you could write and direct and act. And he said, and he looked at me and he went to me, you can do whatever you want. And it was just fantastic advice. So it never crossed my mind that I shouldn't be doing it, because Phil Davis said I should, Robert Pugh said I should, Maj Zetterling said I should. All these people were telling me, this is what you should do.
Yeah.
So I did.
So you wrote and directed your first play when you were 22-ish or something like that?
No, I was older than that. I wrote the play when I was 22.
Right.
And then I finally sort of had the courage to put it on and direct it when I was about 25, 26, something like that.
Still very young to...
I suppose, it's a bit precocious, I suppose, but not really, And I wasn't in it. I didn't write apart from myself, because I wanted people to see that I understood other characters rather than little fat girls from fucking Islington, you know what I mean? I know how to develop other characters, I know. And it really worked, because Mike Leigh came and saw the play.
Right.
And Mike Leigh, he's a very honest person, Mike Leigh. And he said, I wasn't interested in you. Loads of people telling me, you'd like her, that's Kathy Burke, but I weren't interested. And he said, but then I saw you play. And I went, yeah, so I'm not just going to go, fuck off, you bastard, improvising. And, so I ended up doing a play with him, which was great. Just luck and cheek. I've got chutzpah, man. I've got, but
all those different things. I think what I love about the stuff with you and Harry They're actually quite different styles of performers, but it really gels and works together. Harry sort of has that comedic instinct to play to the camera almost, you know. Even when he's doing a sketch, he's still got a little twinkle in his eye. And you can still see him. So in Kevin and Perry, he's still a little bit Harry Enfield, but you inhabit that character.
Yes, I was Perry.
But it's an extraordinary, strong... I mean, without Perry, you know, if it was just the Kevin character, it'd be a funny sketch.
Right.
But Perry gives it its kind of heart, don't you?
Yeah, the heart,
I mean, what I love about it, what I think is really reminds me of all the kids at school, is just you're quite a hard, naughty kid, but then when you're with Kevin's mum, you're just... That's the thing that makes that character so lovely, I think.
But that was down to Harry and Paul and their great writing, you know?
Sure.
They were just great. I'd chuck in a few ideas. Like, we've got quite a famous sketch that people still use on Twitter as a little gif, is when Perry comes back from Manchester and, you know, and thinks he's Liam Gallagher. But that came from me telling Paul about... I used to go to Manchester when I was a kid. I used to go to Manchester and Wigan. I'd always come back talking like that. Can I have gravy? You got gravy on my chips? And Paul was like, that's brilliant. He said, we should have Perry going to Manchester. I mean, straight away, you know. Perry should come back from Manchester and he thinks he's Liam Gallagher. So... It's lovely. A lot of it always comes from truth, you know.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And so that went on to, obviously, the big movie of Kevin and Perry.
Yeah, which was a big hit, actually, wasn't it, looking back? It really was a big hit.
And not many sketch characters could you take and put in a film.
But it so worked for Ibiza and all that, and, geez, I mean, it was a nightmare to film, really. Because all the extras are all off their fucking nuts. They were either off their heads on ecstasy or they were coming down from ecstasy. You know, there was like bodies on the floor. You're sort of doing close-ups and it is like 8 o'clock in the morning and pretending to be, you know, 2 o'clock in the middle of the night and just bodies everywhere. But it was really good fun. But it was manic.
Is there going to be a sequel to the film?
Can you imagine?
The Crankies are still going, aren't they?
Well, you know. They're unique. They're unique. They got their own thing going on, you know. But no. I couldn't do Little Perry anymore. What a shame. But I did love him. He was one of my favourite characters to do ever, really. Excuse me, I loved him. Yeah. I used to love when we film at the BBC and you'd be hanging around, because the boys would be filming all the sketches and I'd do, you know, the slobs or Perry and sometimes the wobbly randy old ladies, which I really loved doing as well. But most of the time I was just sort of sitting around in White City, so it was great, just wandering around as Perry. And I'd knock on the dressing room doors. Can I come in? And the best one was the Manic Street Preachers, because they were doing Top of the Pops. Hello, Manic Street Preachers. Can I come in, please? I don't give blowjobs. So that was great, you know, meet all these people.
So, with Nil by Mouth, you won the Palme d'Or as Best Actress in Cannes.
Yes.
And you... But you weren't going to go... You didn't think...
Don't clap, it's not American.
But you weren't going to go to the ceremony?
No, I wasn't going to go because I was working. I was filming Tom Jones for the BBC. And, so I was home. I had the Sunday off. And I had the Monday off, so I was just home. I think I skinned up at 9. It's just like, this is all right, you know, got nothing to do for a couple of days. And then I got a phone call from Gary Oldman saying, you've got to come out here. Why? And he said, because they're telling me, because you're not here, they're telling me you've got Best Actress, you've got to get out here. And I was like, well, I can't. I've not got a passport. I'm not ready to, you know, I'm at home. I've just skinned up. So it was all a bit shit-scrambled bollocks. And you couldn't do it nowadays, unfortunately. But I got to France without a passport on a private jet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. But I didn't like flying, so I was sort of shitting a brick a bit. And then when we got somewhere, and I thought, oh, great, we're here. And then this bird came up to me and said, OK, come on, we got helicopter now, helicopter. I went, I'm not getting in a fucking helicopter. She went, no, you've got to get in a helicopter. I was literally shoved in by the arse into this helicopter, you know. But it was absolutely amazing. It was incredible. And an old pal of mine, David Fulis, the actor David Fulis, and he'd only rang me that morning because he'd seen Neil by Mouth the night before, and he went, I've just seen Neil by Mouth, bloody hell. Guy makes naked look like the magic fucking roundabout. And he's backstage, and the next thing, he sees me getting out of a car and walking up the stairs. What's he doing here? What's she doing here? And he was presenting an award, and he wanted to change because he then realised why I was there.
Yeah.
But it was great to sort of share that night with him and Gary, of course, and big old gang. But I was back home the next day, and then back up in Derby or somewhere on the Tuesday filming. So yeah, it was all right. It was mad, but it was a great thing to happen. Yeah.
Were you not tempted to go to Cannes when the film was being?
Well, no, because I was working.
Yeah, but you could say you had the Sunday off. You could have gone for a day.
No, I'm not going to do that. You know, if I've got a day off, I want a day off. You know. I've never been one for all that anyway. I don't go to premieres. I've never been to any of my. Well, I went to the Kevin and Perry premiere. I did that begrudgingly, and. I get really embarrassed. I get really shy. I don't like all the photographs. I just don't like it. It makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I just try and avoid things that make me feel uncomfortable.
Sure.
So, well, this has been very nice.
Thanks. Well, we'll talk about your current directing job, which sounds like a lovely job with working with...
Oh, yeah, got to do a bit of promoting. Yeah.
This is going out this week, so, you know, people can still get tickets to this.
Oh, yeah. So Lady Windermeres Fan by Oscar Wilde, so that's on at the Vaudeville up the road, and it's on until April the 7th. And you can get deals. West End tickets are quite expensive, but you can get deals. And I'm delighted to say it's going down a storm, and people are loving it. I've got Jennifer Saunders in it, which was like a miracle, because she's not done a play for 25 years. So it was great to get her. And Samantha Spiro, Kevin Bishop. I've got a great new young actress called Grace Maloney, who's like amazing. And it's only her second job. And she's Lady Windermere. So she's carrying the old show.
Right.
And a lovely guy called Joshua James. Joe Marcel, who I only know Joe Marcel from The Globe and seeing him play King Lear, but a lot of the younger actors were so excited because apparently he was Geoffrey in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Which everyone's clapping now. Me, not a clue. Just and what a delightful man. So he's our eldest company member,
right? And
our youngest company member is a chick called Amy Metcalf, who's only 21. I did a sort of autobiographical thing for Sky a few years ago called Walking and Talking.
Yeah.
And Amy played me.
Right.
And she was just great and a darling little girl to work with. So when I got Lady Windermeres Fan, the first thing I said to my producer Dominic was, right, I want Amy Metcalf to play Lady Agatha. And he was like, OK, don't you worry about the lead roles before we worry about the smaller parts. And I went, I don't care who else is in it. I want Amy Metcalf in it because she's not done a theatre job yet. And she's just a darling and everyone adores her. And it's sort of one of those rare things. It's a really good company and everyone says, oh, everyone loves each other. Half the time that is crap. You know, people can't fucking stand each other a lot of the time. And but on this, I'm so proud because they really adore each other and look out for each other. And, you know, it's really pleasing to sort of set up a working environment. Art doesn't have to be torture. Doesn't all have to be about being bastards to each other. You can create lovely stuff with a beautiful atmosphere.
Sure.
And really nice long lunch breaks.
And was it a play that you wanted to direct, or did someone come saying, we want you to direct this play?
No, Dominic Dromgoole came to me and asked me. And to be perfectly honest, there was a different director lined up, but he left for some reason.
Right.
And so basically Dominic was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I was getting ready to direct a play written by Sam Bain, who wrote Peep Show. And I did that at the Park Theatre, and with 3 great actors, including Adam Deacon, who hadn't done a job since he'd been sectioned 2.5 years ago. So it was really lovely to help him come back, you know, and he's a darling person and a brilliant actor. So Dominic just thought, Cav's going to be tied up doing the Park play, but he rang me up just in case. And I said, well, yes, if I can cast Lady Windermere before I go into rehearsals for the Park, then it's doable. Right. So we made it happen, and thank God, because I've loved every single moment of it.
Yeah. How much do you go to see it when you're directing something? Do you just leave it to...
You're meant to just sort of leave it, you know, pop back and stuff like that. I had a great assistant called Matt Harrison, great guy from Wigan. Oh, I'll look after you, Kath, you know what I mean? He was brilliant. And, not Wigan, Whitby. Fucking hell, I've got Wigan on the brain, me. Whitby. And... But Matt will go back or I'll go back. So I went to the first Saturday matinee after press night, and then I'll probably go again maybe next week or the week after. It's sort of good to have a break from it, and then you can sort of see if things are going awry. Whereas when you're watching it constantly, it's very difficult to sort of, you know, you can't really see what's going on a lot of the time. But it is good to have a break. But I want to go back because I like them all, and I'm going to pop in and see them all tomorrow because I'm going to see another play tomorrow night. So I'll go in and say hello to them all, you know.
And what was behind you? Because you sort of haven't left acting behind entirely, but you've obviously you were getting to this point where you were in lots of movies and winning awards, and then you decided to go over more into directing.
Yeah. Well, I'd always directed. I'd always, like, you know, as we said earlier. So I've been assistant directing since my 20s, you know, and what was happening, it was lovely. I suddenly got very successful, and suddenly I was a movie actress. I was like, all right. And because suddenly you're on the list, you know, and you get seen for movies. You even get seen for movies that you're not right for, but you're the name, and you might help make the movie make money. Do you know what I mean? So it's all a little bit twisted and a bit weird. And I'd been in total control of my career up until that point. Right. And suddenly, I sort of wasn't in control anymore. I had to, if I sort of screen tested or auditioned, and I got the part, I had to accept it. It was sort of really weird, and I just didn't like it. And I was getting more and more miserable. I was getting really depressed, and I thought, this is weird because I should be happier and happier, but I wasn't because I was losing control. Yeah. And I am a bit of a control freak. And so anyway, and what was happening was the acting jobs were great and they were non-stop, but suddenly there was no room for me to direct theatre, whereas I'd always sort of directed a play, if not once a year, once every 2 years. Mm-hmm. And suddenly I just had all these fucking films lined up and I couldn't direct anything. And so I just said to my agent, after this movie that I've got lined up, I'll take a break for 2 years and I won't act and I'll just direct. And I found, to my astonishment, I was a lot happier in myself and in work, just directing. Sure. And I pop back every now and again if it's something that really interests me or the money's good. So I did Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Yeah. I did... What else did I do? I did the Mona Lisa for... It's usually people I really like. I did a summit for Phoebe Waller-Bridge, not Fleabag. She had another thing called Crashing.
Oh, yeah, I've just started watching that.
So I did a little bit in that for her, playing a very posh aunt. And that's the thing, I'm only accepting posh roles now.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
But it's good, you won't be, like, pigeonholed into... I mean, I guess maybe it goes back to that conversation you're having about... earlier about being more than, you know, what you're being pigeonholed as being. But, you know, you're Like a lot of people, I think, would think Lady Windermeres Fan wouldn't picture you directing it, and apparently some reviewers have been a bit snooty about that.
Yeah. Oh, one guy was brilliant, because I don't read reviews, good, bad or indifferent, but a friend very nicely texted me and said, there's an appalling review. So, of course, I had to read it, and it was sort of great, actually. I didn't mind it at all, and I broke my own rule of never reading reviews. And I really liked it, because he hated everything about it, everything, and was saying, this is wrong, she's got this wrong, she's got that wrong, and I just thought, well, I'm doing something right then, because, you know, this is the way I have read this play, that's what a director is, it's your interpretation of a piece.
Yeah.
So this is my interpretation. And the one thing that went on when we were in that rehearsal room was that we all fell in love with Oscar Wilde, myself included. And I just thought, what a great fucking human being. What a darling man. He loved women. He loved women. He hated injustice. And some people, and all I've done, I've just abridged it. Because it is commercial theatre. I didn't want people sitting there 3.5 fucking hours getting bored. So I've just cut some repetitiveness. And I've added tiny little things just to help bridge the cuts. And some people think I've added in lines that are Oscar Wilde's lines because they resonate so much, especially with now, and what it says about women and what it says about men. And in the first act, it's all about all men are bad. All men are brutes. You know, you will never find a good man. You should expect your husband to have affairs. That's what they do. You know, so it's quite extraordinary. I've been a good girl, though, because I don't believe all men are bad. So our Lord Windermere, I very much wanted that to be him and Lady Windermere are young loves, and they are in love with each other, and they do love each other, and he is a good person, you know? And it's really lovely, because it comes across like that. And, we just think he's brilliant. Yeah. And what a heart, and... You know.
But it's interesting with reviewers like that. If a reviewer tells you how a play is supposed to go, that reviewer, anything's meant to go. You get these with comedy as well. It's like, you've got to go and, you want to do that job, but you can't do that job. It's not, if someone's saying this is how the play should be, well, go and be a director. You clearly want to be a director, but you can't be a director because no one's
listen,
supporting.
He's entitled to his opinion, though. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know? I've seen things that I've not liked. I'm not like the way they've been done. You know, but it's not my job. I'm not a critic. No. You know, so I think I think critics are sort of necessary because it's all publicity at the end of the day. Yeah. And what you want to do is sell tickets. Yeah.
And there's been lots of good reviews as well.
There's been some
that you won't know about.
That I won't know about. I've just heard that there's enough good things being said that we can put it up outside the theatre.
And people are coming. And I read today that you're doing that thing that happens with plays now, where it's filmed and put. Is it going to be live in a cinema one day?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So anyone that's been tweeting me, sort of moaning, I can't get done. Why isn't this touring? Why isn't? It's been so good to be able to say you can see it in the cinemas. I think it's March 20th. Okay. And the website it's called Classic Spring, is the company name that are doing this, because there's a whole season of Oscar Wilde plays at the Vaudeville, not just mine, and ours, I should say. And but it will be shown on March 20th, cinemas all around the country. Yeah, which is great.
Fantastic. You also directed...
Everyone's thinking, shut up about that now.
No.
Tell us about Way Now.
No, we're going to talk about you directing... I didn't know you directed this, Horne and Corden's double act series.
Oh, my God. I'll get me coat. Yeah. No, that was all right, actually. It was a very strange time.
Yeah. I thought it might be.
Yeah, it was. It was very odd.
Double acts are weird, though, right? And they were sort of slightly thrown together as a double act because they were both in the sitcom with about
Kevin and Stacey.
Kevin and Perry.
Not Kevin and Stacey. What was it called? Gary and Stacey.
Gary and Stacey.
Which was wonderful. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. Yeah. It was wonderful. But it was just a little bit overkill on the boys, I think. Yeah. That was all. You know, they were sort of riding the crest of a wave. They were very high on everything. And, you know, so I got asked to direct their sketch show.
Yeah.
Now, from my point of view, I'd been laid up for 18 months because I'd caught a hospital bug when I'd gone into the hospital for an operation. So I caught a bug called C. difficile, and it laid me out and it nearly killed me 4 times. I would be very much boring the arse off Adam Kay talking about it.
What is worse, James Corden or that
Well, the thing about James, he is a very talented actor. There is no doubt about it. He's a very talented actor. But it was silly for me to do the job. I'd always said I was never going to direct television. And why all of a sudden I said I'd direct a sketch show, and it was because I'd sort of fallen in love with the boys in Gavin and Stacey. And I just thought, well, why not? These are great guys. This would be great. You know, they're brilliant. James is a brilliant writer. This will be great. But we all know sketch shows are notoriously difficult. And just the material just wasn't good. It just wasn't good enough. And but I have to say, you know, it was good for me because on a personal level, never mind the poor people that had to sit home and watch it. But on a personal level, it sort of got me well again. You know, I was really, really sick. And I still had a fucking colostomy bag at the time. And it was driving me insane, lying at home doing nothing. I was going mad. So I was like, yes. Because what had happened was, before I got sick, I was just about to direct a play at the Almeida Theatre in Islington. I'd cast it, got all the design team, and it was the Saturday before I was meant to rehearse on the Monday, start rehearsals, that this pain just completely overwhelmed me, and I had to go into hospital. And so I had to drop out of the play, and a different director had to stand in for me. And it was like then I became a little bit, we can't touch her because we can't get the insurance. And I have to say, I felt a little bit ignored and blanked by theatre for a long, long time. And it really fucked me off. Yeah, I mean, Horne and Corden, basically, they were the only people that approached me to work with them after I was sick.
Yeah.
So I do thank them for that, you know. But the best thing for me that came out of that was the producer on it was a guy called Ben Cavey, and he did Psycho Bitches and done loads of great stuff, and he has become a great friend of mine. He also exec produced My Walking and Talking, along with my other darling friend Pippa Brown, who was like a production assistant on Horne and Corden. So the great thing for me, and I'm still really good pals with Matt Horne, I have to say. I think he's a thoroughly nice fucking guy. And but Pippa and Ben, I couldn't imagine my life without those dear pals. So, yeah, sorry you had to suffer. No. But I came out of it really well.
but, you know, you're taking a chance with anything, right? You never know how anything's going to go. And what's interesting, I think, is about those bridging jobs that are a bridge, you know, sometimes, that not everything's going to work.
No.
And it's, you know, it's sort of incredible. I mean,
and you do have to take a risk, but I do think those guys they were, like, battered for it. I mean, I wasn't on Twitter then. I weren't interested in social media. So, of course, I didn't really know what was going on a regular basis for them, which was, like, the hate was sort of, you know, it was very over the top. Yeah. You know what I mean? What can you do, you know? Can't like everybody.
But, you know, I think you're, in a way, like, you've taken a lot of risks in everything you've done, and a lot of those things, you know, someone like, I think Gimme, 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 for example, was like a massive...
Yeah, it's a risk.
Well, it was a massive... you know, it's like, it was a very broad thing, and it wasn't, you know, immediately taken to people, didn't take it to heart immediately.
Oh, no, people hated it. Take it to heart, they hated it.
But it's now...
They wanted to run us out of town. Especially me and James Dreyfus. People were starting to love me because of Harry Enfield, and they were starting to love James because of the Thin Blue Line. Put us both together, they hated us. but we stuck with it, myself, James, and Jonathan Harvey, the writer. Yeah. Because we wanted to be broad with it. It was myself and James don't want to be safe. I wanted to outdog Waynetta. Yeah. And I said that about myself and about the characters I play. And that's the sort of person I wanted to play, because I thought it would be really fucking funny. And it was. Once people eventually got it, it was really funny. And it's so weird now. I get tweets from really young people going, my God, they would never have allowed this now. And I sort of think, was it really that outrageous? I mean, I never watched it. I don't watch my own stuff, so I can't remember half of it. It's like, was it really that full on? But I suppose it was, because we verbally abused each other in it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so things that James's character said to me, you'd never get away with now. And vice versa. You know, I called him all the derogatory names for homosexual that you can think of, you know, and it just wouldn't be allowed now. But, God, I loved it. I loved it so much. I just loved it. Loved it.
I guess it came at sort of a rough at the same time when everything was getting very realistic and, you know, and... Yeah,
well, that was the thing. I mean, we were like, you know... It was a bit like we were the Mrs. Brown boys of then, right. You know, in comparison to everything else. Everything... Yeah. It was all when comedy was getting a bit up its own fucking arse, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And it was like everyone was congratulating themselves. We're great. Oh, aren't we great? Aren't we intelligent? Oh, it's a new way of doing comedy. And I'm just sat there going, I just want to make people laugh that work in a pub every night.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about you doing your, this is the way to do comedy. Nobody laughing. That's what we'll do, you know? And I think there's a place for everything.
There is. Yeah.
And I sort of felt, well, there's a place for Gimme, 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 and now there's a place for Mrs. Brown's Boys. That show is hugely successful for a reason, because people fucking tuned in and watch it.
Yeah.
You know? And I just don't like snobbery in any form.
No, well, I think that's... I mean, for me as well, the older I get, the more I just... you know, it's impressive that anyone gets anything on TV. That's impressive to me, because it's so difficult to do.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you've got to kind of respect the craft in nearly everything. Not quite everything, but nearly nearly everything. And, you know, yeah, if something's popular, if something's making people laugh, that is the job.
Yeah.
I think with comedy, it's got to make people laugh.
Well, James and I sort of decided not to do Gimme Gimme anymore because they sort of they wanted to soften it. We wanted to get more outrageous. We wanted to break the fourth wall. More. But yeah, you know, what he does in Mrs. Brown, Father Brown, what the fuck? Mrs. Brown Boys. You know, and Miranda did it, looking down the lens. We wanted to do that 15 fucking years ago, and they were all too frightened of it. So it was really frustrating for me and James. And I'll never forget the day we were sat there and we were rehearsing on the set, and my character was going around dusting. So we're doing a camera rehearsal, you know, no audiences there. Dusting. So I pulled down the boom mic, gave that a dust, threw that up. So that was fun, you know, all the crew laughed, James laughed. James said she should do that in the show.
Yeah.
Because we were slightly breaking the fourth wall here and there. Oh, no, that's too much. And James just went to me, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. And I went, neither do I. And that was it. And that was the last series.
Wow.
Yeah, we did Millennium.
Yeah.
I think that was the special. I can't remember what order it all went in. But yeah, it was just getting a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's good to end things on your own terms as well. They should have let you do that boom thing, didn't they?
They should have been still doing it now. Every fucking week it had been on. I hated it.
The more it went on, though, the more people would have really... If it had gone on every week for 15 years, imagine how funny it would have been by the end. Even if you hated it by the end, if you're forced to watch, everyone has to watch it.
You have to watch it.
And by the end of it, everyone would love it. I can guarantee you that. Oh. And all I can remember about the film, Elizabeth, is you in the film. I can't remember. I loved that film, but you were incredible in that as Mary the First. Right?
Yes. Is that what I did?
Yes. I did history and I always get confused between Mary the First and Mary the Queen of Scots.
No. I was the Catholic one, mate.
Yeah, you were,
I was the Catholic. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. That wasn't really that much fun.
I can't even remember who played Elizabeth in it now.
Oh, yes, you can. You know. It's Kate Blanchett.
Well, she's all right. She's all right.
She's not done too
I wouldn't
bad.
have her on this, Kathy.
No.
She came knocking down the door. You're listening, Kate Blanchett.
She was
Sling your
great.
hook.
She was so young
Yeah.
when she did that film, mate. I tell you, she was so young. Incredible.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it. I don't watch things I'm in, so... But I know she was incredible, just sort of watching her on the monitor and stuff, you know. But apparently it was a great film, so that's good.
It was very good. I'll ask you a couple of emergency... I have emergency questions, but you know... It seems a shame to...
Hilly warned me about this.
It seems a shame to ask you emergency questions, but because it's been good, but...
Oh, what, are these bad, then?
Yeah, they're bad. This is a bad one. This is question 251, if you're following at home. I've never asked anyone this question.
You've got booklets there. Have I had my back to people?
You have.
There's people over there.
Very
I'm so sorry. Fucking hell. Sorry.
It's a bad question. I
just can't see anything.
You don't have to answer this. Would you rather have a clitoris in the crook between your thumb and finger or have a bionic nose? It's a rubbish question. I was halfway through. Rubbish.
Yeah, I'll have a clit.
Yeah, it was obviously. I'd rather. What's a bionic nose going to do? Smell things a long way away? That's a bad thing, isn't it? Which is the sexiest TV puppet?
Animal.
Yeah, Animal's nice. No, I won't ask you that one. Have some respect. Have some respect, Richard Herring.
Well, you've just asked me if I wanted a...
I know. That's how bad it was. Right, OK. Question 368. Don't think I've asked anyone this one before. I don't remember writing it. Would you rather be an orchestra that has been assimilated by the Borg and endlessly plays only orchestral versions of Mel and Kim songs?
What, Mel and Kim?
Do you remember Mel and Kim? Respectable.
Oh, they never want to be...
I think one of them died. It's a very poor taste question. Or a cart horse that has to pull a cart full of the corpses of all your cart horse friends around all day long, but is otherwise treated well and gets Sunday off. I mean, what the fuck is that? That question's based on the fact that orchestra and cart horse are anagrams of each other.
Oh, really?
That's all that's about.
Yeah, orchestra.
Yeah, I think so. Don't delve into... I'll go to the low numbers when I was trying. We'll ask you... This hasn't been asked for a long time. Would you rather have a hand made out of ham or an armpit that dispenses sun cream? There you go. I missed it. A hand made out of ham... It regenerates. If you eat it, it'll grow back.
Right.
Or an armpit that dispenses sun cream as an individual use. You can't get enough to manufacture and sell. But you have as much sun cream for you and your friends as you need.
Well, I don't eat meat.
Right.
I've not eaten meat since I was 18.
OK.
So that's out the window. So I'll have the sun cream, even though I don't sit in the sun.
That's very good.
Why did you all like that question?
It's like an old friend.
Is it?
It's like if they'd done Gimme, Gimme, Gimme every year for 15 years. If I'd asked that question every single time, it would be Who would you rather act with, Harry Enfield or Gary Oldman? Who is the best person to act? It's Gary Oldman, obviously.
Well, they're both, you know what I mean, hard work in their own fucking way. But he's a genius, Gary.
Yeah.
He's an absolute genius. And in a way, sort of, so is Harry. But I really loved work. Well, with Gary, I mainly worked with him directing me. You know, that was the longest period of time I worked with him. And he was one of the best directors I've ever worked with. And Harry's just fucking brilliant, mate. He's just brilliant. He's just great. So... And Gary's great. I love them both equally. Paul Whitehouse. Yeah, Paul
Whitehouse was the real genius in that show. It was amazing. No, I used to absolutely love that show, the Harry Enfield and Chums.
It was good fun.
It was a very, very, very fun show.
I'm spitting a lot. I think I need to go to the dentist. That's something going on. Keep spitting. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
You'll be glad you missed that.
Yeah, lucky facing this way.
Then, because a lot of spray here.
I can't leave it at that, but we're coming to the end now, but, I don't think we can end it on spitting. It's very punk.
So let's say Lady Windermeres Fan.
Yeah.
Is on at the...
Is there any spitting in Lady Windermeres Fan?
Is on at the Vaudeville Theatre. See, this has got its ending, because I can't talk now. I'm usually in bed now, and... until the 7th of April, thank you very much.
And what are you going to be doing next? Are you moved on to your next project already?
I'm reading scripts, darling. I am just sifting through a pile. But yeah, I'm just reading scripts. There might be something I might be doing that might be quite interesting. For me, not for you. But that's not all sort of set in stone yet, or green lit, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch this space. But it's directing that I really love, so please don't have a go at me for not acting anymore. Everyone always has a go at me, but I want to do what I love. I want to be happy in my life. I haven't got long, so just leave me be and be happy. Thank you.
Well, I hope you got along. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kathy Burke. Kathy Burke. Thanks so much. You have been listening to Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast with me, Richard Herring, and my guest, Kathy Burke. The music we're currently listening to it's nice. It's by Pest. I don't know if they know we're using it. Thank you to everyone at Leicester Square Theatre. Thank you to everyone at Go Faster Stripe. Thank you to everyone at the British Comedy Guide, especially Orange Mark. We owe you some orange juice, Mark. This is produced by Ben Walker. It is Sky Potato, Go Faster Stripe, and Fuzz Production, and it goes out on the internet. Thank you for listening. Yo, thanks for listening to the podcast. Sorry to video people that it was audio only, but that was Kathy's preference. You missed out on quite a few rather spectacular facial gestures that helped the audience read between the lines as to what she was thinking. But you might be able to pick that up anyway, just from the laughter. Really enjoyed that, and it's great to be back. Next week's podcast, I have a feeling, will also be excellent. I don't know how I know that at this early stage. That will be back on video and still on audio if you're listening at home. Do support us if you can. Buy some beer, get some free beer if you like. Also, you can, of course, become a dripster, d.rip/Richard-Herring, or a monthly badger. GoFasterStripe.com/badges. That money will help us make more podcasts. We haven't got enough to make all the podcasts this year yet, but it'd be lovely if more people gave. But remember, I am also on tour. I go to richardherring.com/gigs or richardherring.com/ofrig/tour. You can see if I'm coming to a place near you. On Wednesday, I will be in Sutton Coldfield. It's sold out, and Wednesday may have passed by the time you hear this. On Thursday, I will be in Chorley. There's a couple of tickets left for that. If you're very quick, it's pretty much sold out. Friday, I'm in Leicester, and it's the Leicester Comedy Festival. There's lots of competition, and there are lots of tickets left. So I would love to see you in Leicester. Coming up the week after that, Norwich, which is sold out, and Cambridge, which is nearly sold out. So it's worth booking ahead. Go and check out all the venues I'm coming to, St Albans, all sorts of places coming up. I'm in London on May the 4th at the Queen Elizabeth Hall, where we will be recording the DVD, and that's got a 900-seat theatre, so there are still some tickets left for that, but it'd be terrific if we could at least even half fill it. And also, I'm coming to Cambridge I'm coming to Cardiff soon, and because it's sold well, we were going to be in the bar, but we've been moved up to the big room in St David's Hall. So if you're in Cardiff, I would love it if you could come along and make this massive room feel a bit less massive by filling it with your bottom. I mean, just one bit of it with your bottom, but your bottoms, your Welsh bottoms altogether. Anyway, go to richardherring.com/gigs or richardherring.com/ofrig/tour, and you can see where I'm coming. As long as the tour does well, I can afford to carry on doing the podcast and give them out for free. That's the deal, my friends. Anyway, see you next week. Adam Kay, he's a very funny man. Bye.